Welcome back to the Nikki Clarke Radio Show on wearehotline.net. And joining us today is a female spoken word artist, and she's also the author of Between These Thighs. Please welcome Arlene Hunter to the show. How are you doing, Arlene?
I'm great. Thank you for having me, Nikki.
Oh, it's a pleasure. Thank you for being here. Wow, we've got an exciting book that you launched. When did it come out?
Yes, it came out in February, and I self-published it, and I've been taking my time. It's my first little baby, so I'm taking my time with it and just slowly releasing it to the public. It's available for purchase online, actually, under the title Between These Thighs, as you mentioned, and you can get that on Amazon, Chapters, Indigo, and as well in ebook format on Kindle and Kobo as well.
Okay, so it's very accessible, and that's a great thing.
Yes.
And how much does the book retail for?
It's retailing for $15.
Okay, very reasonable. So tell me, what led you to becoming a spoken word artist and author?
Well, to be honest, I was really just trying to write my way through my difficult childhood and my past. I mean, growing up, I was predominantly raised here in Canada, but I was born in Jamaica. And growing up, I didn't have the best relationship with my mother. And at the age of 18, I just decided to leave home, and I hadn't spoken to my mother for quite some time, not until I was in my 30s. And so during that time, when I was becoming a young woman, a young adult woman, I was really just searching for my truth and searching for how to become the woman that I am today. And I often paid attention to women and listened to women's stories and their lives, and it impacted me in such a way that over time I decided that I would sit down and basically write just to heal myself and as well to tell the stories of these women that I've come across throughout my life. And it just became such an empowering experience for me. And the more I began to write, the more I felt, that I really had something important to say. And I thought I had to use the image of Between These Thighs because I felt that everything stems from between the thighs. The cover of the book depicts a woman, in essence, in birthing position or preparing to greet her sexual partner. And the majority of us come to the world from between a woman's thighs. And I thought that's such a powerful image, and it's just so much a part of my journey as a woman in discovering what being a woman is all about and the interconnectedness that we all share, regardless of our racial backgrounds.
Right. Mm-hmm. And that's a very interesting. It's a very interesting cover, and yes, and the premise of it is birth, it's beginnings, it's the start of something that will grow into something incredible. So I understand now the parallels that you've created with the book cover, and the essence of everything comes from the feminine side of who we are. So the birthing happens. Women are very, very, very integral and very vital part of the balance of everything in the world. We need the feminine in order for the masculine to work well together. So that's a wonderful illustration that you've given to us, and I completely understand what you're trying to do. Now, so in your personal journey, you've made connections here in the book. What else can readers discover when they read through your chapters?
Well, it is, like I said, it's a collection of poems, and it basically just explores the human condition. And I touch on themes such as sexual expression, sexual orientation, race, ethnicity, oppression, gender inequality, human displacement, domestic violence, a whole milieu of social, economic, and political issues as related to women particularly.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Now, have you been doing a lot of research in, the areas of sexuality, or that's your muse to put this book together? Where did you find your information, your data?
I did a lot of research for particular pieces, and other pieces are just from stories or firsthand experiences that I've had.
Okay.
So some of my work is historical in its context, and others are just more modern day-to-day lives of women.
Okay.
For example, there's a piece in the book called Race, and that piece was basically written because during the year 2004, I just happened to be watching the Olympics, and I noticed that there was a female sprinter that was in the 100 meters race, and she was from Iraq. And she had come in at that point dead last. Her name was Ala Hekmat. And I thought, that's interesting. And I heard a little blurb that they said, about the fact that, it was the first time that Iraq had been invited back to the games because women had previously been prohibited from playing sports. So it was a monumental race for her in that sense, even though she came dead last. And so I went on the internet and I started researching her, and as a result, wrote a piece about her, just to celebrate her femininity and the strength of her femininity.
Powerful.
Would you like to hear that piece?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So this is called Race, and I'll just set up the premise of it. Iraq was previously banned from the Olympic Games because the Taliban prohibited women from playing sports. The 2004 Games marked the restoration of the Iraqi Olympic team and introduced female sprinter Ala Hekmat to track and field on the world scale. Race. Because the eastern sun kissed sweat from her forehead and she outran the fastest boys in school. Race. Because sprinting has no gender, and her mother's footsteps would be traced. Race. Because her second-class track shoes understood the desperate choices to be made. Race. Because the Taliban soldiers spat in her face, and she was her nation's promise and its shame. Race. Because she drank 100 meters, and her thighs were still thirsty for revolution. That's it.
Wow, that's beautiful.
Thank you.
No, that is just very powerful. Thank you so much for sharing that.
Thank you.
In terms of what I see right now going on in the world, my heart is very close to children and education. And as an educator, I go into the schools and I work frontline with some very troubled children. I see so many things happening in their behaviors that have a lot to do with parents being afraid to parent or don't want to take on the responsibility of parenting. And then there's some other environmental issues like nutrition and also maybe, media and the influence media has on, how they behave, and then all kinds of other contributions to that. But at the end of the day, they're not they're not well equipped to handle certain things when they're thrust out in the community. They don't have coping mechanisms, and they end up doing things that are very detrimental to their lives. Do you have a piece that would speak to maybe the issue of just young Black girls or just young women who are going through all these changes and they're looking for help?
Yes. I remember when we first started as a community watching BET. And the thing that struck me most about watching BET was the music videos. And I would watch and see all of these young girls with next to nothing on, shaking their booties. And I thought, this is not what I want for my world. This is not what I want for my children.
Yeah. Yeah. It's not a reflection of me.
Yes. And so as a result, I wrote a piece called Bounce With Me. I'll share that with you. Bounce with me. These young black girls in a permanent state of undress address nations with their firm black power to the peephole asses and their perky bounce with me titties. And suddenly, MLK's dream becomes lost in a stream of homie's wet dreams. And another poet dies. And another poet dies. On the sidewalk where conscious lyrics fade with the chalk outlines. Shot down in the neighborhood drive-by. And the misguided bullets lie when they call your mama a bitch and the mother of your children a hoe. But it's all good in the hip-hop hood until motherfucker becomes an official taste on the tips of our children's tongues. And I want more than just the flavor of a black body to bounce with me, bounce with me, bounce with me, bounce with me. I want somebody to kill the beat, yo, and resurrect that dead poet. Peace.
Wow, another powerful one. Arlene, what you do is, it's very impactful. And tell me, with your journey right now and how you've been, touching so many people's lives, how have you been transformed through this whole process?
I'm just not the same person that when I began this journey searching. I was searching just for my own truth. And I discovered a more universal truth about the human condition. And I realized how similar we all are and how interconnected we are and how important it is for us to network and to just stop for a minute and just really look at someone and realize their struggle is also my struggle. And when they fall, I fall.
Very, very true. It's really been awesome listening to the transformation that has taken place in your life and how you've taken pieces of what you've learned through your experience and you're giving back in a very impactful way. How can people reach you? Can you just mention again your contacts, as I'm sure people would like to purchase the book and also to learn more about what your next plans are?
Okay, so again, my name is Arlene Hunter, and I am the author of Between These Thighs. I can be reached through email. My email is Beulas_Bridge, and I'll spell that BEHULAS_Bridge, BRIDGE, @yahoo.com. You can also reach me on Twitter at BlackBell50. And at Facebook, I am just simply Arlene Hunter. I'm in the process of getting my website, but it's not up and running yet. And
it's in the works.
I'll be working on part 2 of the book as we speak.
Fantastic. Arlene, I just want to thank you again for, opening up to us and just being so honest about your experience. We wish you the best of luck, and I look forward to meeting you face-to-face on the Nikki Clarke Show in front of a live audience. Yeah, it's going to be phenomenal. Oh, yes. It's my pleasure. So you have a wonderful
so much for the opportunity.
day. Oh, no, and it's really been a wonderful experience. So thank you again, and I look forward to seeing you soon. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Bye-bye.
Thanks. Bye-bye.